Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sunless Skies. In the last episode we made our way to Albion. Here we are in London. I think today we shall have a look around Albion. Let's see if we can buy ourselves some more supplies and fuel, because we have none of either. Let's see, enough tea to fuel the sun. We don't have any tea, but it does tell me that the Clockwork Sun lies southeast. Bronzewood for Parliament. 5 consignments of good bronzewood. The floating Parliament lies to the west of London. Well, I don't have either of these things, so what I pick up? I'm going to pick up the fuel for the sun, just in case, you know. Tea. Why not? We can get anything. Oh, we do actually have some bronzewood in the bank. How much did they want? 5. And I have 4, as is the way. Who knows, maybe we'll find more. Maybe I will pick it up. Let's pick it up. Yes, I don't think there's many places to get bronzewood in Albion though, so maybe not the best idea I've ever had, but we'll work it out. Right, what I actually want is supplies. There we go. And let's... do we try and find our way to the sun, maybe? Or we could try and find the Horological office. I'm pretty sure that's up here somewhere. There's also the Throne of Hours, which is a spectacle. It could be here. Well, here's London. I believe this is the Throne of Hours, right here. This giant building, made of gold. Just uncover some of the map. Oh yeah, the Horological office. Here it is. Can we dock here? I seem to remember being able to dock at the Horological office. Oh yes, here we go. We can dock at the Ministry. Lovely bunch. Oh, the Ministries. Sorry, there's more than one. A number of instruments of government are located here. The Horological Office, which regulates time across the Empire, the Office of Works, which ensures the jobs no one else can be bothered with are done, and the Ministry of Public Decency, which curates the notion of Britishness with the same care a lepidopterist uses to pin a butterfly. Bored. Well, let's start at the top and work our way down. Let's go to the Ministry of Public Decency. A huge horseshoe-shaped building of white stone, white columns, clocks, and iron gates. Inside, its walls are panelled with dark wood. Crimson carpets, worn by frequent passage, flood the floors. Within its cubbyhole offices, auditors toil to protect the sensibilities of Londoners here in the heathen sky. Well, we can request an appointment. Is there some way you could be of use to the Ministry? You cross the foyer and approach the secretary ensconced at a teak desk. He listens to your request with a thoughtful frown. I'd love to arrange an appointment for you with one of our auditors, obviously, but my hands are tied. Bureaucracy, you understand. She rolls her eyes, looks around conspiratorially, then lowers her voice. Best thing for someone like yourself to do is gather reports on nearby ports. I'm sure the information office would love to hear them. Then I could pop your name in this little book and up you go. Collect port reports from Albion and turn them in here to receive rewards. Okay, so we can't get in here yet. Let's stop off at the Office of Works. The Office of Works is a bustling, bureaucratic enigma. Behind its red-bricked flanks toil numberless clerks and surveyors. What mysteries lurk within its memoranda, its chits and receipts? What exactly are its eponymous works? No one is sure, but a drafty loading bay, an unflappable foreman purchases supplies to complete outstanding work orders. We can offer our services. He sniffs and leafs through the dog-eared ledger. The officer works, God bless her, has very particular requirements. Very particular. Let's have a look. He needs 1 caged catch and 1 tale of terror. Let me just write that down. I'm sure we already have the tale of terror. I'm not sure we have the caged catch. If you dislike the current work order, this may get you a different one. Yeah, we don't need to do that just yet. Let's take our leave. Now we just need a caged catch. And finally, the last place for us to look at. Oh, cheerio! The foreman turns his attention to a pallet of crates destined for St. Dominic's Station. Hurry up! These have got to make it the 12:15. The Royal Horological Office. And tick. A tick, tick, tick. Albion's heartbeat. Clocks of diverse size and shape line the walls of this small, grey office. Each is meticulously tuned by the royal horologists and inspectors as the practiced for the thankless, complex task of ensuring the consistency of time across Her Renewed Majesty's territories. Ooh, we have quite a few options here. We can speak to the chief horologist. He sits hunched in a thick, grey blanket, his crow-like stare fixed on a disassembled clock. Its gears are almost too small for the eye to see. Times change, I've heard. Well, not if I have any say in it. He reaches for a pair of tweezers, the pincers barely thicker than a human hair. The time in London must be the time in the Barbizon, in Warbley, in New Winchester, in Lustrum. To the second. It is the privilege and duty of this office to ensure that continuity. He sniffs. A task that was considerably easier before we began spending hours like shillings and sixpences. Now it might be yesterday in one place and next week in another. It is most untidy. Look at the clock of Albion. From this side, it is a polished wonder of valves, pendulums, and cogs working in perfect harmony. Only the finest engineers were permitted to work on it. Every component is encased in polished glass. The hands, sharp enough to slice paper, slide between the exquisitely carved numerals with buttered smoothness. Only the second hand is permitted to jump from moment to moment, and it does so with the precision of a military march. It's just for tourists, of course, grumbles a bleary-eyed apprentice. Albion's time really based on the old tick-tock man's pocket watch. He keeps us straight, except that time on his 19th birthday, when he had one too many, and the whole of Albion lost 2 hours. Brilliant. We can examine the array of clocks. They all have the names of ports within Albion and the Reach. Lustrum, Barbizon, Port Prosper. Despite the vast distances involved and the complicating effects of local hour usage, all the clocks show the same time. Each of London's territories is expected to run on Albion Standard Time, but London is a long way from them. Despite being a commandment from the Empress's own lips, it is a law more often breached than observed. Let's ask about the nature of hours. Their use remains poorly understood. The chief horologist doesn't bother to hide the weariness in his voice. No, despite the imaginative claims of certain penny dreadfuls, hours can't take you back to yesterday, nor leapfrog tomorrow. But with the use of hour looms, a week's journey can be made to take a day, or a prisoner can endure the 10 years of his sentence while only 1 year passes outside his cell. A work world can perform a month's labour in a week. A lifespan can be stretched. The empire, my lady, runs on hours. Can I become a horologist? Not just anyone can become a royal horologist. The chief horologist looks surprised at your inquiry. Horologists tend to be cut from a specific cloth, a rather greyer fabric than that worn by a skyfarer. However, you have the right to take the examination if you wish. He blows the dust off a textbook and bids you sit down. No calculation devices or writing implements are permitted. Oh no. The chief horologist peers over the book. If the current time in Furtherance is exactly 1715, and the clock in the time of Albion is 1834, what, pray tell, is the current time in Lustrum? Well, it would be 1834, surely. That is your answer? Very well, we shall continue. And now a tricky one, perhaps, the chief horologist coughs. The train from the Barbers and Workworld arrives at 11:30 in London. The current time shown on the Master Barberson's clock is, he winces, 14:30. If the train took exactly 1 hour to make the journey, it does not. Of course, I merely offer this as a hypothetical for the sake of testing. What was the accurate time of its original departure from the work world? Well, that would be 10:30, surely. Interesting, very interesting. He pauses for a moment before writing your answer down. You wait patiently for several minutes. But the third question doesn't seem to be coming. The chief horologist's eyes have drifted closed. A thin string of drool dribbles from his otherwise dry lips as he snores. Nudge him gently. The fellow must be pushing 100. No, excuse me. He glances at your answers. Well, you seem to have the idea. No point going through the other 248 questions. Congratulations, you are now officially a Royal Horologist. Apprentice, 3rd class. He pauses. Speaking of which, I have an assignment for you. Temporal inconsistency. A suitable test for your practical skills. Take this pocket watch. It is both your badge of office and your compass, pointing to the correct time. Wear it proudly. Keep it well wound. Do not get it wet. The smaller gears are quick to rust. We are now a Royal Horologist. Where would you like me to go? Okay, well, we have a pocket watch. I love pocket watches. They're a wonderful invention. I wish they would make a comeback. Much more interesting than wristwatches, that's for sure. I want a smart pocket watch. That's what I want. Right, shall we do a little bit more investigation? We have a look around. I am confused. I could have swore that he would have given us some sort of quest here. Ah, here we go. Your current assignment is in Warbley Juxta Mare. Not that I know where that is. I know where it was, but that doesn't help me very much. Shall we just pick a direction and go in it? Wait, we know that... Where do we know? We know that the Clockwork Sun is south-southeast and the Floating Parliament is west. So let's go to the Floating Parliament. Would be this direction. Do we want to go to the float? Do we want to go to the sun? The sun is the cool place, right? South-southeast? I mean, it's closer. South-southeast is this sort of direction down here, so let's have a look. My supplies are looking a little bit... They're dubious, but who knows? We'll see what we can find. I know we're going to come into a graveyard. I know we are. I always find my way to the damn graveyard whenever I go anywhere in Albion. Simon's Nest? I don't remember what kind of enemies are here in Albion. I know there's probably marauders. Ooh. Hello. Here's a bunch of coffins. Humble wooden coffins pepper the sky here. This is a bully's acre, a pauper's graveyard. There's little room for the dead in London. Well, we can either pay our respects, which will reduce our terror, or we can break open a coffin. Some coffins bear crests, indicating a significance paupers' graves are rarely afforded. Perhaps you'll spot one. 100% chance of success. After several silent minutes stood at the window watching coffins drift by, a keen-eyed signaller cries out, "Flash of silver!" You hurry to the footplate, coal shovel in hand to hook the coffin as it passes. You almost stumble over into the sky, but you reach the coffin with its crest of silver and haul it aboard. The crest of the universities. The silver is real, as are the chains that seal the coffin. You fetch the bolt cutters. Inside, an experimental device for fracturing navarantine, too precious to leave in the hands of academic scholarship. Apparently, gained a condemned experiment. Lovely. Right, southeast. It should become mighty obvious when we get close to the sun. A pretty big thing. Quite bright. Needless to say. And it's a very interesting story, and I'm hoping the truth storyline is going to open it up a little bit more. We're actually going to find out the story of the sun, because it's very interesting, especially if you've watched the Sunless Sea playthrough and you know of the Dawn Machine, because it's basically just the Dawn Machine, but bigger. Much, much, much bigger. Looks like we're leaving London, at least. We're going out into the outer reaches. I could send out the bat. I don't know if it's a good idea. Probably not. I feel like I'm still going south-southeast. I suppose actually I'm going southeast. South-southeast would be more this sort of direction. One day they'll put a compass on the screen. It'll be glorious. I suppose. Isn't there a compass on this screen somewhere? I don't think so. Oh god. I choked on my own words. Oh dear. That's not a good sign. Right, hopefully it's around this corner. I don't think I can pass through here. This is decidedly blocked off, isn't it? Could it be down this way? London falters. The sky becomes stony. The paths barred by Sutton crags. Yeah, now we're more south than southeast. We're in like an asteroid field. Are they asteroids? Are we in space? We're not actually in space, are we? I'm just going to call them asteroids for the sake of ease. So in theory, it should be directly in front of me, I think. I'm seeming to remember there is some nasty stuff around the sun. If I send out the bat. Oh, that is not in the background. Ow. oh, I just realised how badly hurt we are. Let's not get into combat, shall we? Probably should have repaired the ship. I swore that was in the background. Drive straight into it. Let's send out the bat. And hope that the sun has supplies. Ah, here. This way. Your scout has returned. What has it found? A question mark. Hopefully a port. But I don't think question marks are ports normally, are they? I remember the place around the sun being a lot more open than this. Oh. Is that a saying thing? I don't have a saying, do I? Bugger. Yeah, glass. Glass is a good sign. Well, I mean, it's not for London, but it's a good sign that we found the sun. I won't go too deeply into that, because it is kind of a pivotal story point, and I'd like to experience it through the meaning of the game. I'd like it to explain. Look at this place. It's so cool. The air shimmers and twinkles. The sky is full of broken glass. It looks awesome. Oh, here it is. Oh wait, I forgot that the bright night benefice? I forgot that you get terror from being near this thing. I believe that's why the screen is going a bit crazy. I don't know where the dock is. There it is, I see it, it's all good. The Blemmingham Voyager has become fascinated with the Clockwork Sun. You are forced to prize it away. Let's dock in this very loud port. Awesome that is. Picture of the Clockwork Sun there is a... The dock is rarely used and its maintenance has lapsed. There's evidence of rust and metal strain, but only of non-crucial components. Safe to stop for now. Once inside the dock, the sun's scouring light is diminished. Level at the sun. An outpost on the roaring edge of the sun, shielded from malevolent light by an eggshell of stained glass. As you emerge from your train, suit-swaddled engineers gather, plainly astonished by your arrival. They bombard you with complex questions about how you dealt with dense sunlight and skewed chronosolar fields. Once satisfied, they hand out protective suits to you and your crew. Yours is patched and torn. One boot is missing. You successfully reached the Clockwork Sun. Let's shrug into your suit. An engineer sprays you with a substance that smells like lemons gone wrong and searches your pockets. A cursory effort at best. They seem distracted. Sunlight seeps like syrup through cracks in the stained glass ceiling. The floor shudders in time with the churning machinery far beneath your feet. The air has a tang of chemicals, bonfires, and rain. Pistons pump, cogs turn, and suit-swaddled figures tend to the injury, bellowing over the shrieking metal. You can write a port report. The Clockwork Sun is the pre-eminent symbol of the Empire's heavily menu. The newspapers in London call it enduring, everlasting, eternal. In response to your questions, engineers shrug. Day dawns, sun brightens, the night comes, sun dims. What more is there to say? Some of them seem so exhausted they can barely stand. They insist it's proximity to the sun that affects their sleep. You now have one yearning burning, and your port reports to the genial auditor or the stalwart bookkeeper at London to earn reward. Okay, well, let's head toward the sundial-shaped building. Be the sequencer's new favourite project, one of the engineers tell you. It'll keep him out of our hair for a while. Azimuth is an enormous sundial without shadow. Its roof topped by a golden shark-finned gnomon. There are still racks of yellowed pamphlets on the walls. It once served as a kiosk, selling tickets to sunspotters, the pilgrims and tourists that were expected to flock here. These days, it's more like a temple. Frescoes on the curved walls depict the triumph of the new sun over the old. Oh, we gained yearning burning again. It can't be good. A figure in a yellow-collared protective suit is delivering a sing-song sermon to mostly empty pews. The dazzled sequencer looks up, delighted at your approach. He hurriedly wraps up his speech. He offers you tea with a flash of 2 white teeth. What is your role here? The only other people up here are disturbed prisoners and exhausted engineers. I'm a priest of the new sequence, declares the sequencer. The brightest truth, the wildfire that has swept Albion. He points out at the expanse of the sun. There burns a beacon, a saviour, an aspect of God. We venerate the Clockwork Sun as its immortal architect, our Empress. I'm here to greet pilgrims and safeguard the souls of our engineers. Azimuth is the only access route to the sun. Shattered dome. Exhibition hall that was built back when we received more visitors. The dome is terribly dangerous and I advise you to avoid it, no matter how much you hear about the priceless artifacts inside. What did he just say about priceless artifacts? We can request access to the sun-shattered dome. Beyond Azimuth lies the maze of abandoned exhibition halls, crowned by a magnificent broken dome. The sequencer obviously takes his role as gatekeeper seriously. He fusses around you, checking you and your crew's gear, tugging on straps, checking for rips, wiping your stained glass goggles with a silk handkerchief. All the while, he spouts an endless stream of warnings: don't enter the Shalimar, never travel in a group of 3 or fewer, and to resist the urge to sing no matter how fiercely your throat burns. And for sequence's sake, watch the condition of you. With that, he pats you on the back, hands you a brochure, and sends you through the heavy iron door into the dome. Oh no, I didn't want this. Can I come back later? I had no plans for doing this right now. Exhibition halls, built to accommodate sun-spotter tourists and sequence pilgrims, and abandoned after the dangers of the sun became impossible to hide. Priceless paintings hang in bleached rags. Magnificent relics have been left to accumulate glittering glass dust. Is anything still intact? The stained glass sky has collapsed. The unfiltered sunlight gnaws savagely at your hazard suit. It is currently undamaged, though a little shabby. Soon you stumble upon a gleaming forest of glass sculptures. As you get closer, you realize they were once tourists, from back when the exhibition was still open to the public. What were they all clustered around? Let's just get out of here. I don't want to do this right now. Let's return to safety. You spent too long out here already. You don't want to return to your train with glass frosted toes. Right, let's listen to his request. Together we can help the less fortunate, he says. You will be compensated for it. There are many poor souls out there in need of help. Beleaguered, ignorant masses. I've never met them, but I am assured they exist. He pauses to wipe his eyes. When we lift them from their contemptible state, perhaps they will come to appreciate the greatness of the sequence. He sends an orderly to fetch a wooden crate. Once it's set down before him, he raps the lid proudly. 600 manuals on how to correctly tie a bow tie. Deliver these to the barbers and work world, and I'm sure they will be immensely benefited by their improved understanding of etiquette. Lovely. Okay, well, let's leave the Azimuth. And before I explore any more of the Clockwork Sun, I think we've come to the end of the episode. I shall continue my exploration here of the Clockwork Sun in the next episode. So, I'm going to thank you all very much for being here. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. Thank you again to the members of the channel. It really does help me keep making these videos and is a great way to support the channel. But, as always, I'll see you next time.